Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will discuss about a very important topic in HTML, which is semantic markup and semantic elements. So what does the semantic markup says? Basically, it says like, hey, whenever we are writing HTML, the tags which we use for the content to show into our web page has to be meaningful. Basically, whenever we have the heading, as we have been doing for some time, we are using the h1, h2, h3, so on and so forth. Whenever we have the paragraph, we are using the p tags, right? Whenever we have some inline element, we use the span. Whenever we want to have a block element, we use the div, right? So basically, before these tags, what we had only span and divs, and many of the old websites, if you can find one, they do not use all of these tags. They use only divs or spans, something like that, and they use extensive CSS to style everything up. But here we have many of the semantic HTML tags, which we have definitely learned inside of the course. There are many of them which we didn't able to cover up, which are some of the examples are the main element. So this main tag represents the main content of our website. There is this header tag. So this header tag represents some sort of a like the headings. Like if we have a h1 and then we have a subheading, right? So we can group together inside of this header tag. We have this nav element or the nav tag. Whenever we have some sort of like the navigation element, like the navigation bar or some sort of sidebar where we can click on some link and we can go to another web page, something like that. In that case, we can use the nav element. We have this footer element as well to basically use it as a footer for our content, and so on and so forth. So semantic markup says like, hey, whenever you are writing HTML code, just think about the content, and depending on the content, choose the appropriate HTML tag. And if you are not able to find any, then use div or span, something like that. So this is the rule of thumb, right? So now what are the benefits of that? Because if we want to follow 100% of the time the semantic markup, then our HTML structure will be a little bit more complicated, and we have to understand about many of the other elements and the tags as well. But there are some benefits. First of all, accessibility. So the people who are using screen readers will benefit a lot, because if there are a bunch of divs inside of a web page, then the screen reader is like, I don't know what is happening inside of this web page. Every content has the same amount of emphasis on that. So this is bad for screen reader. So if we use something like h1 for the headings, like the main heading, we use something like the nav for the navigation, we use the header, and so on and so forth, then the screen reader will be, aha, okay, so this is the heading, this is the navigation bar, and the person who is using the screen reader will benefit a lot. Second reason is for the search engine optimization. So whenever we have the website hosted, so what Google does, basically Google has the web crawlers and it crawls down to the web pages. So if our website is properly structured with semantic markup and elements, then this web crawler will have a better understanding of the content of our web page, and there will be a little bit more possibility to have better SEO ranking inside of Google. So this is a very nice like bonus to use the semantic markup and the semantic elements. And the third reason is by using semantic HTML, if you are in a team of developers, every developer knows what is happening. For example, if there is a navigation bar and I am using the divs for that, then the other people will have a very hard time finding out the navigation bar, right? But if I am using a nav element, then that will be quite easy, right? So this is basically for the developers and the development sanity. Okay, so in that way, we can use the semantic elements. I know we had not had a proper chance of meeting all of the tags, but there are a bunch of these sort of tags. And whenever we are making some sort of project and something like that, definitely I will definitely cover those as well. And basically these semantic markup and the elements come to you by building projects. Like I can talk about many of the tags here and there, but this will not make sense until or unless we are keeping that to the practice. And also one other thing which I want to tell here is that by using these tags, there will not be any sort of style changes or something like that. This main tag will act as a div, but it will provide the meaning. Like, hey, this content is the main content of the website. If we used a div, the meaning was gone. But for the main, the meaning is there, right? So this is basically that. And this particular thing applicable for all of the semantic elements, the header element, the nav element, and so on and so forth. All right, so this is the semantic markup and semantic elements. And I think this might be the last video of our HTML section. From the next video, we will start learning CSS. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next one.